Good afternoon. I'm Elaine Manzer, the Mayor of the town of Peace River, and I'd just like to tell you about some of the discussions we've had in our past few council meetings. We've had several presentations, two in particular. One was from the Peace River Area Air Monitoring Program. They told us about their program in general. Right now they've got a monitoring station in Grimshaw that they're hoping to move to Peace River in the next little while, so we'll look forward to that. Then we had a second presentation at the last council meeting from the Alberta Forest Product Association, and their educational presenter basically informed us of the state of the forestry industry at this point in time, and a particular concern is the tariffs from the U.S. Some of their products could have as high a tariff as 50%, which would be, would be awful. So anything you can do to talk to your MLAs and so on to encourage something to not happen with the tariffs would be helpful to that industry. Also, admin has brought several amendments to bylaws and new bylaws to us recently. The ongoing one is the land use bylaw refresh, and there's a draft of it on the website, so everybody can go and have a look. But basically it lays out, I think in a quite concise way, topics that you need, or renovations, stuff like that, that you need to have a building permit or a development permit, and some that don't. And there's been a lot that have moved into you don't need a building permit category, but you should really look at them. You should look at changes to whether or not you need a building permit for things like HVAC systems, fences, depending upon how high they are and where they are. If you have a home-based business, there's changes to those. There's some changes for the number of parking stalls that are required for a business. So all things that would be worthwhile for the public to really have a good look at, and if you've got some changes to suggest, there's still opportunity for that. We're really hoping to have the bylaw passed by early this summer. So hopefully you'll have a chance to look at it. It's quite a thick document, but it's a worth read, especially if you're into building renovations or business. Another agreement that we have discussed, and it's pretty well finalized from our viewpoint, is the joint use agreement with our 3 school boards in town. So the provincial government has mandated that municipalities have to have these agreements with school boards. They look at things like recreation areas, playgrounds and stuff like that, how they're used after school. They look at whether the schools are supporting the maintenance of them, or the town has part of that. And so it's a shared use agreement of some common recreational spaces, basically to maximize the use of those spaces at all times during the day. Council also passed a variance to help the West Hill apartment development, and the variance was to have 1.25 parking stalls per dwelling, per apartment, rather than the 1.5 that is the usual ratio. And the reason for that is it helps the developer consider whether he would add a 5th floor to the apartment, and therefore more apartments available to our Peace River residents. Protective Services has been very busy lately. As I have said, and as you know, we have a new director of Protective Services, and we're soon to be joined by another community peace officer, hopefully in April. So the town has allocated, I think it's about $169,000 from its reserves to basically fund some of the equipment that the Protective Services Department will need in terms of, just anything that they might need to help their program. Another thing that has been brought to our attention by the Director of Public Services is a new bylaw. It's called the Public Disturbances Bylaw, and basically it puts a little more force into what RCMP and also our community peace officers can do with respect to nuisances and disturbances. So it just gives them a little more help in enforcing behaviors that we as the general public do not appreciate and do not want in our town, basically. So please, though, keep reporting any suspicious activity to the police, any bylaw concerns to the town. There's a report of bylaw concern on the town website, which is pretty easy to do once you've done it once or twice. So please carry on like that. These complaints are taken care of and they're looked at. Our officer, as I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, but he's had about 60 complaints that he's looked at in the past month in February. And one of those resulted in a traffic ticket. There was 10 town tags, which is sort of like tickets. And there was 40 occasions when he basically educated the person with the concern, and we hope that the behavior and the problem changes in the future. Another thing that we've passed lately is another policy, and this one was on the nonprofit emergency support fund, and it takes $10,000 from our 2025 budget, and it's for nonprofits who have an emergency situation. So it could be, you know, an example, maybe their furnace blows up in the place that they're at and they have no funds to help fix it or something like that. So there's an application procedure, and it's for nonprofit groups though. And so if you would like to check that out or phone community services or administration and find out more information, that would be probably helpful. So another thing that we received good news on, CAO Miller has informed us that for workers' compensation, we will be receiving about it costs us about $58,000 less due to the fact that one of the claims was overturned, and more significantly to the work that our administration has been doing to provide health and safety training to our staff, and the staff uptake on that is great and helps everybody along, and including the town saving a little money on their premiums. So that's good. And so I hope everybody had a great time at the the pond hockey tournament. It was a little cold out there, but the organizers did a great job. The food was good, and everybody seemed to be having a great time. Other good news, in the last couple of months, we've had about 6 new businesses who've got their business licenses, so welcome to them, and hope they enjoy success in their new startups. So have a good week.